So what is up, guys? You got your boy Jesting here today, and today we are back with a reverse 1999 tier list. Now I wanted to make this video because I traditionally like making tier lists for games I really love, just to kind of talk about where characters are, how they rank, and stuff like that. That's just kind of the fun thing about these games. Of course, now I don't want to say that this is the definitive tier list because it's not. It's just me giving my honest opinion. So please don't attack, please don't harass or say anything about a person's opinion in a negative sense. I just want this to be a fun little discussion video where do we think is the best character in terms of compatibility use, like a meta thing. But that's really just it. That's just kind of how I like to make them, based on like how strong they are kit wise. But again, it's just me, it's my humble opinion, and I by no means am making this the official reverse 1999 tiers, because it's not. It's just me giving my opinion. That's really just it. So that is all I really have to say there. But anyway, let's get right into it. So first character we have is Juvis. Juvis is gonna go in good. I do think Juvis is good. The problem with Juvis is that she faces a weird issue with her main mechanic is oftenly being countered by most of the bosses in the game, and that's the ability to petrify. If you guys don't know, petrify basically prevents the enemy from moving. They can't dispel all of it unless they're hit with a reality based attack, and you can easily make a mental plant based team with her, Satsuki, and a third unit that can also do mental plant or just mental damage in general, just to help just to make sure you do not dispel the damage output, or the petrify I should say. So that's really just that. But again, a lot of bosses, like the in-game bosses, are just like, nah, you can't petrify me, which is the issue that I have with it, is that it's a debuff which is actually potent, especially for how much she can do it. But again, if she could petrify every single boss in the game, then I think she would easily go into a S tier. I think she would easily go S tier if she could, but petrify being balanced by the fact that there's a lot of bosses that can effectively resist the petrification is just what stops her from being like best tier. But other than that, damage output isn't terrible. It's decent enough to be considered a plant-based carry. She has a good partner in Satsuki, is another unit that can inflict passive petrify with her stackable debuff, which is another way of keeping the enemy locked down. So I mean, yeah, she's got what she needs. So there's that. Next up is Centurion. Centurion definitely is a beast carry that is worth the S tier. She's very good. She has good damage output for both single and AoE. She has a good ultimate that benefits pretty much the whole team. It's just weakness damage, which gives damage increase to the whole team, which is really good. So I do think that it's worth. She's very potent in what she needs to do. That's really just it. She's just a potent beast carry, which is worth the investment all on its own. She's also very fun to play with, honestly. She has a good Moxie gen for herself, which is, again, a really good effect. So there's that. So easily S tier. A knight can go in A tier. He's a good DPS as well. He also has the same AP generation boost effect, similarly to Centurion that we just talked about. But he's a lot more tankier. And that's good because due to his natural affiliates being spirit, and he also has ways to reduce his own damage and stuff like that, that's really good for survivability and making your carry last. Since he is a unique carry, since he doesn't belong to any of the four mains, he doesn't really have to worry about them. It's just always type neutral against him, which is, you know, good. He doesn't have to be, oh, you can't take a knight in star-based content because he's a beast unit, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the best thing about it. And since I think spirit and intellect have a tie with one another, so that's a really good thing there. So yeah, I just think that that's really good. So there it is. Medicine Pocket, they are going to be S tier as well. Yes, I know. Medicine Pocket is considered a non-binary, and I know. So anyway, Medicine Pocket is well, the best standard healer you can ask for. Like, I don't really think that there's really too much I need to explain about why I do think Medicine Pocket deserves the spot that they are in, because it's just they're the best standard 6-star character that you can get. That's a healer that's not in some form not in the general banner pool. I know it's like air quotes to say limited, because now they have the new system in 1.6 in CN that reveals that the character is true limited now, meaning that they probably won't come back, but the characters that we have now come back. So Now their concept of limited is a little bit different, so I'm just gonna say air quotes limited because we do have another here. Obviously, that's limited at the time being. But Medicine Pocket, they're a really good healer. They also have the ability to cause a single target daze with their ultimate, which can also buy you. It can buy you a turn depending on what it is. So options, options really good. There's that. Saltaby is good because of how potent the poison team is right now. We just got Jessica, so the poison team's definitely gonna be running rampant for a long time. If before Jessica, I would have said maybe niche, but now that she has a really good functioning partner with her, now she rises up a tier because now she has a really good person to spam it with, which is Jessica. Lilia, I'm also gonna say is good. Lilia's biggest problem for me to prevent her from putting in the best tier is that she just takes far too long to get going, man. She needs a specific cube, which is Thunderous Applause. She needs to be I3. She needs, I think, someone said Resonance 11, but I do think Resonance 10 is fine. But I think Resonance 11, I think for 100% crit rate or something. I forgot the math that someone put out there. But even then still, I mean, most of the carries, like Centurion, a Knight, can go at A2 level 50. They can. It's just, it's a bridge way to go from A2 to A3 because of just how much you need in terms of resources. So it's not like you could just shoot up a unit to A3 fairly quickly. No, it takes a few days. Well, it takes maybe up to a week, depending on how you're managing your stamina, which of course is a little annoying. Of course, you have to get the specific cube. If you did not choose Thunderous Applause at a point in time, then your Lilia is going to be doing a little lesser damage because she really relies on the faction of critical damage. That's her big thing, is she wants to be able to crit, which of course she needs partners that can inflict critical down, like Voyager, like Two Fairy, like most star units in the game, for example, can inflict a critical resist down. So that's the big issue I have with it. That's really just it. Like, I think that's really just what I feel. But ultimately speaking, Lily is good because she is a good DPS star carry for sure. I'm not disputing that. It's just she just takes so long to get to usable tier, and that's my thing. She just takes far too long for me personally. Okay, but anyway, that's really just it. But other than that, kit wise, she has great damage, mostly single target. She has an AoE move as well, but it's mostly single target, which is fine. That's completely fine. Regulus is also very good. She has the ability to cause dodge on her ultimate. I do love that effect because it basically buys you a turn. She has good overall like damage potential as a sub DPS too. I think a lot of people consider her as sub DPS level, which is true. I do think she is definitely considerably work as a sub DPS. So again, very good unit, very decent damage. Not like destructive or anything, but definitely solid enough. Anali's for sure going to get a best tier because she's basically an AP hungry unit's best friend. She has the whole thing where she can rank up her rightmost incantation with her exorcism mode. She also has the ability to buff one of her cards +1 star whenever she does her ultimate for 2 turns. That's what makes her really good, is the fact that she can really easily rank up into a level 2 or a level 3 of her skill. Most of the time it's usually for the rank up ability nectar, so you can get that 20 to 30% damage boost, damage mitigation effect, which is really good. So there's that. Voyager goes in good because she is able to provide you with a level of sustainability. She also has the ability to cause confusion, which again is a star staple, but she also has the ability to put sturdiness in a counter up at will, which is good because basically you don't want your teams to die, and the extra sturdiness can always go a long way. She actually really helped in my UTTU run against certain enemies because the ability to put up that sturdiness effect basically can save your team. That damage reduction is good. That's why I do like it. Eternity. Ooh, Eternity. Okay, so here to here, I'm not sure, honestly. See, the thing is, why I do think Eternity is a fantastic mineral carry, she doesn't really do anything. That's the thing. The big thing that puts me want to say here, because of how self-sustainable she is, she has a built-in buff in her kit that basically gives her, I think, 25% damage boost on at will after 5 turns. But other than the self-damaging effect that she has, which only really applies to her and not the whole team, which is why I rank Centurion higher, because she has at least an effect that helps teams, is Nasty Wound is really, really niche. Like, maybe I'll just leave her at good just because of just how uncommitted Nasty Wound is. Because if you guys don't know, Nasty Wound is just basically a heal reduction. That's it. Which not a lot of bosses are healing rapidly like that. And whatever bosses that did heal, I found to be the most annoying was the first one in the UTTU, which was the one that just healed straight to max. So there was nothing you could do to that. I think the recent UTTU, where the boss heal for 4K, could have helped, but not really something that was dire, so to speak, because if you just had enough damage, you can kind of just offset the heal, or if you even had counter, that also worked. But yeah, I'm not disputing the fact that Eternity is not a fantastic carry. I don't want anyone to ever think that she's not. She's definitely worth the team. She's definitely worth the placement for a carry. She's my OG unit of choice, because I definitely went for, well, I didn't go for it. I got her with the beginner pool, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm struggling to explain myself here, but yeah, ultimately speaking, she's still fantastic. I just don't think Nasty Moon is all that, man. I mean, that's it. But Eternity Solo is always a fun meme to run on teams, because it's just a fun meme. It's definitely a fun meme. It's really, really just a fun meme that I personally like doing out there. It's a very, very fun meme to just talk about and just laugh and just say, oh, look at Eternity, go crazy. But other than that, it's just for what she's trying to do, she's just fine. Alright, next up is Miss New Babble. I'm gonna put her in niche. Now, the problem with Miss New Babble is she fits a role that not a lot of people really need, which is a tank. You don't really need a tank in Reverse 1999, especially in the end game. If you have a really good structured mono team, or even just a team with 2 units and a potent enough support or something, or anything of that sort that doesn't directly get weakened by the main boss's affiliates of choice, which is any of the main 4, then you're fine. I mean, I out of everything I've done, because I've done everything up to this point, all the limbos, I've done all the UTTUs to stage 30, even the special weeks up to stage 5. I've never felt myself saying, man, it would be great if I had this unit here. Now, to be frank, she does get better though. She gets a card that, well, a cube that allows her to do respectable DPS while fulfilling her role. So actually, even if you do have Miss New Babble, do not despair. She could potentially even jump up here with that new cube, and I think that's patch 1.4, which we're not in yet. We're only in patch 1.3 as of 6 or so more days, 7 or 6 more days. So that's really just the only issue, I feel. That's it. Nothing really negative to say about her. It's just, she's just in a role for something that you may not need, unless you really do need it. It's really just dependent on team structure, right? If you need the extra support from shielding and a damage reduction or taunting effect, then yeah, it works. But if you don't, then it's like, you don't really need her, So yeah, Manalia is, yeah, best beast mental carry, strong single target DPS, can ramp up her ultimate really good. She has a really good card to go with her with Luxurious Leisure. She also can steal Moxie from the opponent, which is very, very good to stop them from doing dangerous ultimates. So yeah, I mean, very easy S tier. 2 Fairy, same, very easy S tier. Best healer in the entire game, in my honest opinion. There's some people that say that they can heal more than TF, but crit healing is so absurd. Like, if you get her special cube with like a level 2 cast or something, man, those heals are thick, which is good for team survivability. So there's that. She also has the ability to cleanse all statuses, which is good, all negative statuses, which is good. So yeah, Pickles I put in best. Pickles is good. He's not as potent as a buffer as someone like Anali, no, but I do think his big breakout is the ability to dispel, and his nature to be an AP friendly support. I always give high credit for any unit that's a support that's AP friendly, because you effectively always really want your carry to deal the most damage and take the most actions as they need to. Someone like Lilia, someone like Centurion, Manalia, a Knight, etc. you want them to be able to build up to their ultimates fairly quickly so they can do their big attacks. You want them to build up to the best cards. And Pickles really just chills. He's really there just vibing for real. You need him to dispel? Have him dispel. You need him to deal a little extra chip? Go right ahead. But the big thing is his ultimate that gives you 30% damage boost for up to 3 turns. It's 2, but you can get up to 30 if you're still in his clarified topic state, which is fairly easy to maintain. That's super easy to maintain. X could work. There's better options. I do love the Extreme Talent series that they do on YouTube. I love those. Shout out to Extreme Talent, by the way. Anyway, Sweetheart. Again, same thing as, I think it's the same thing as Miss New Babel. A niche that it doesn't really need. Baby Blue goes in good because she's the best mental shredder in the game. And she also has the ability to inflict damage reduction down on everyone. Charlie goes here at P3, here at P0. But if you have her at P3, she's considered really good. She does really good damage at just P3 with a little bit of reduction of HP. So that is really good because you can always just damage first with Charlie, then heal. That way you can get the bonus effect of the reduced damage. So that's what I do think about Charlie. Charlie's a really strong 5-star. For some reason, she's just really strong. I think it's just the extra damage and the extra follow-up that she does get that really helps propel her damage potential. She's, again, more easier to get going comparably to Lydia. She also is a 5-star, which means she takes less of the premium materials that you need to farm. So, yeah. Beacon Bloom, yeah. It's either here or here. Now, the reason why I would rank Beacon Bloom higher than Baby Blue is because most of the really good teams are reality based. To me anyway. Like Beast has Centurion, Mineral has Eternity, Star has, I believe, Lilia, Plant has Jessica, who fits in that team beautifully. So that's why a lot of them are really good. While we do have good teams for Mental, for Plant, we have Druvis. For Mineral, we don't have a Mineral. No, we have one coming, actually. Let me just stop right there. We have Black Dwarf coming fairly soon. For Star, let me check. I don't know. I don't think Charlie is considered a reality, but let me make sure I know, just to make sure. Oh yeah, she's Mental. So yeah, works with Baby Blue. But yeah, I think more of the more dominant, stronger teams definitely work with Beaconborn. I just think she's really good. She also has really good sub DPS. Baby Blue really doesn't have a lot of DPS going for her because both of her skills are just debuffs. She's just there to put debuffs. She can technically damage with ult, but yeah. DK niche. The problem with DK is they're trying to be a healer, but they can't heal very good, and the damage is decent at best, but it's not like worth, I'd say. Definitely a good early healer though. Definitely a good early healer for like the early to mid game, but late game you definitely want to pick up maybe a more responsible healer. So there's that. Sonato goes in good easily. Very good buffer. Also can do some enemy disruptions with disarm. So there's that. Balloon Party also very good. I again don't like the fact that her healing is based on HP loss, but that's just fine. Neurologist, I kind of want to put Neurologist in good. Believe it or not, the big reason why I put her in good is she is also a dispeller, not AoE like Pickles, but she has a unique ultimate that prevents your teammates from dying, which is not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. Honestly, I don't think it's not bad. Being able to have a unique way to prevent yourself from death is, you know, it's something. It's definitely something. Satsuki niche. It's just only really if you have Druvis. That's it. Because they really do combine off each other for just stacking up Petrifies. But again, Satsuki faces the same issue that Druvis faces, which is Petrify is not a very good element to really work around at the moment. So there's that. Matilda could work as better options. She's not a bad 5-star DPS. Tanat, same thing. Could work as better options. Again, faces a weird niche. Click. I mean, Click does have Moxie. I think he has Moxie Moxie Reduction, which I do think is pretty useful depending on the type of teams you want to run. But let me see. Yeah, he has Moxie reduction. He has the blind effect. So not really anything that's work. I mean, the Moxie reduction could work, I guess. But I guess could work. Could work. I could say that. Baloney. Not a bad star DPS, honestly. Diggers. Technically speaking, I put Diggers in niche. Diggers is kind of the baby version to another unit that's also in this list. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. You know, we'll just talk about him when we get to him. But he does have the ability to inflict both reality and mental defense shred, which is always really good on mixed teams. But of course, when your main carry is just one, you only care about the other. You don't really not care for the other if your carry isn't that. That's really just it. But that's really just it. He also has the ability to cause a nightmare, which is basically a way for the enemies to just not gain any sort of moxie, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. So it could be niche. The donkey now. I believe this is Eagle. Is it Eagle? I believe that's Eagle. I forgot what her thing looks like. Let me make sure I can make sure this is Eagle, because I know she's yep, that's Eagle. Okay, wanted to make sure. Don't want to mispronounce any names. I'm actually gonna put Eagle in the niche tier. She's really good as an early game DPS for what she is. She's not bad as a 4-star DPS, honestly. She's not bad. She has excess critical rate, and that critical rate is converted to damage. She also deals boosted reality damage, so not bad. It's not a bad overall kit for what she has, especially as a 4-star. So that's why I do think she's actually niche. But of course, if you do upgrade to one of the more other plant-based DPSs, you can actually just slot her out. Enna or Zima, I believe the name is. Not really worth. No. Pavia is just because that's a cool guy. Oliver Fogg. Nah. Most of the lower rarity units aren't really worth, so I'm just going to just kind of move them in there. There's a couple of them that actually worth using. TTC's not really worth. Rabies, again, not really worth, unless you're a fan of Rabies. Miss Noinsan, I believe her name is, not really worth. The Ghost, nope, not worth. You are also not worth. There's only really one unit, and I'm just going to take her up now, and that's going to be Lasource. She's really good early game healer, so there's that. But most everyone here is not really worth taking in teams, so we're going to just kind of slowly move them into here. Yeah, Lanani actually could work. Lanani's not a bad DPS actually. Not great, but it's one of those. It works, but it's not like it's a necessity, and not for any means. If you can easily build up anything else, build anything else. No. I love the fact that it's a horse, but no, and nah. Alright, that allows us to actually start getting into more decent characters again. Horrorpedia could work, better options. Same thing as Neurologicus, being able to dispel, but that's really just it. At least she has a unique effect that makes her worth using for the team, protection. But other than that, not really worth. Jessica, we won't really even discuss this one. We won't really just. I mean, Jessica's disgusting, dude. She's so strong, dude. And the amount of poison that you can spread with her and Sotheby together, man, a dream team. Dream. I don't think you're any good. 37. I'm not gonna rank 37 because she's in patch 1.4 and we're not in that patch yet, so I won't really spoil it. So we won't rank 37. But Black Dwarf, 100%, so strong, dude. Especially with the follow-up damage. You can check out the video I made of her just recently as well. She does great damage, single target in AoE. She's a great follow-up attack from her ultimate. Her ultimate hits like a truck. She has very good portrays as well. A great card to run with her as well, like in Luxurious Leisure. Yeah, she's got the package. She's got the package, bruh. Alright, Conjura. I actually got to refresh my stuff on Conjura, so please forgive me. But I don't remember what she does. I don't think she was any good, though. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I remember now. So the whole core thing about Conjura is that based on the level based on her fortunes, she gets certain different things that enhances the effect of her skills, and it, for what it's worth, is okay, but it could work because she has to rely on that certain fortune, and she doesn't like. It's not like she can pick the fortune. The fortune is random. It's not just like, all right, I want to go such and such fortune to allow myself to get the extra turn of poison. All right, I want to go such and such poison to get the stack of confusion. So, not really that good. She is technically another useful unit that works in the Jessica team, in the Jessica team, because she again can inflict poison. It's only one target poison, but it still works. So it works. But she also has other utilities that make her work. But it's just up to RNG. There's that. Shemaine. Oh yeah, you're going to best here. Really good DPS for a support. He has the ability to debuff both reality and mental defenses, but he also gives a damage boost effect as well. So the thing is, Shemaine is basically Baby Blue with an extra move. Like, it's basically he's Baby Blue and Bicorn with an extra move. That's really just it. And his Nature's Blessing is really cool because if you combine it with his ultimate, he can essentially chain his ultimate, which is really strong because that means he can just cast it multiple times, and his ultimate hits very hard because it has a splash off effect, and he has the ability to do extra critical damage with his ult as well, which is good. That's why I really like him. I just do love the effect that he is just such a potent debuffer because he has the reality mental defense minus I believe 15 to 20%, and then he has a damage decrease for up to 30%, which is really good. So that's why I do think he deserves a spot in best tier. He's not in particularly AP hungry either, because really the only time you want Shemaine to get busy is when you need him to debuff, which is not every turn, or if you want to chain his ultimate, which is of course optional. But if you really want Shemaine to be a DPS considered like as really good as, like, you know, the main beast carry Centurion or something, then you have to go deeper. Like, I think it's P2 that you need for Shemaine to actually be considered as a good unit, of course. But other than that, I do think that he's definitely worth the title of one of the best debuffers we can have because of just his flexibility. You know, being able to just fit in most teams, to fit both mental and reality shredding, so you don't have to rely on one. Again, I do stand by the point by you want your main carry to have the respective debuff if you really wanted it for the extra damage, but some extra units might like this, and Shemaine's a perfect example because he's a debuffer that can sub DPS too, which helps. So there's that. But anyway, that's going to be the tier list, guys. That's my honest opinion. Again, no fighting, no getting crazy or anything, but let me know what you guys think is really good in the comment section below. I would really love to know your opinions as well. I might be overlooking some units myself. I traditionally don't really use to lower rarity units unless I had to, which was why some of the units are placed a little bit higher here. But anyway, this has been your boy Stingren. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.